another weird thing that happened when she actually did pass the next day. So we get a call in the middle of the night. It was like maybe like 1 a.m. or something.
1 o'clock.
And the nurse goes, okay, she passed. And we start crying. I came to my son and I told him what happened. He starts tearing up. 5 minutes later, the nurse calls back. She started breathing again. And we're, you know, in shock, like emotional roller coaster over here. But that's just like my mom, stubborn. Like, no, I say when I'm going. So me and my dad, my brother Blake, rushed down to the hospital, and we were holding her hand and, you know, just trying to, she didn't seem like she was there. Her eyes were open, but she was still like gasping for air. I don't want to go into the details, but we held her hand for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour or something like that. And they said it could be a while. And so I went home, and my brother left too.
Well, he was going to go to eat. He said he was hungry.
Yeah, he went to go eat. And the nurse, as I was leaving, she was telling me, because she's been doing this a while, and she said that she was there when her dad passed. She said, sometimes they wait till you leave. And literally, like, right after my dad left, that's when she decided to go, which is also another beautiful trait about her, is that she's so considerate like that. Like, she didn't want us to remember that. She didn't want us to witness that. So she waited until he walked out the door, and, you know.
Yeah, I went out to the car with Blake, and he was eating. He hadn't eaten all day. And the part that my daughter didn't know, because I don't know if I told her, but what happened was I called him. I said, you know, it's getting pretty close, Blake. You should come over. And I go, what are you doing, Blake? And he goes, I've been sitting here for an hour in the parking lot. And I go, what? So why don't you just come on over? So then he told the staff there he's going to go to the place where Mom was at. And when he showed up and he came in, he sat down with Mom and held her hand, like she said, for like 40-some minutes. And he was the last one before she passed that I think she was waiting for, because all my other sons and my daughter, everybody from the immediate family had seen her now. And now that Blake is there, he was the last one. So he went to get something to eat. He's in the car in the parking lot. He calls me out. So I go out. I go, Mom's still okay? I'm going to go out. And I sat down there and I ate something with him. And that lasted maybe 5 minutes. I got up. I go, Blake, go on home. And you got a long drive back home. Go get some sleep and I'll call you. If anything happens, I'm going to stay here with Chris. I walked back in and she was gone. She was gone.
Yeah, so that's that story. I also just wanted to, just so everybody knows, her wish was to be cremated. This is what she requested. She didn't really like all the attention on her. You know, she didn't want everybody to see her that way and remember her that way. And if you had seen her in the last couple months, she really didn't look like her. And yeah, she didn't want to be remembered that way. I wanted to share a weird thought that I had, because I'm a weirdo. When we were visiting the mortuary to see the pricing and all that, I was thinking about how, I don't know why I like the smell of formaldehyde. And I was like, it's a weird smell and it's kind of a gross smell. And I started thinking about it, I'm like, it's because, like, you know how your sense of smell, it's related to like memories. It's attached to memories. And every time I smell formaldehyde, it's at a funeral. And at funerals is when, like, we come together. Like, it's a family reunion. And then I started just thinking about how, like, I love that, you know, it's like, it reminded me of how my mom is bringing people together. Like, she always has brought people together. She's doing that again here. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was my song choice. Because I didn't pick a song that, like, was her favorite. I didn't pick a song that I used to sing to her, because I really don't think I would get through that. When she was sick and, like, almost leaving coherency, I did sing Sweet Child of Mine. That was, like, our song together. Guns N' Roses was her favorite, if you knew her. Yeah, I sang that to her, and I did the Sheryl Crow version, and it was just cute because she's, like, on all these medications and stuff, barely could talk, and, like, I'm singing to her, and she whispers, like, she's like, you can sing it any way you want, you know, like, 'cause she knows it wasn't the Axl Rose version. So I just thought that was really cute. And then I also sang it again to her, you know, in her last moments. I don't even think I could ever listen to that song again or sing it, but I just picked a song that felt appropriate, and I asked my friend to support me, because if you were at Grandma Martha's funeral, then you know it's hard for me to sing these songs, but she actually did like the movie that this song came from, that I know from. Yeah, so I'm gonna try. My voice is really dry because
drink some more, Mom.
and then that keeps This is my phone, so I'll wait. Nobody's in my play it. And she needs a microphone.
I've only met her mom a couple of times, but when I was over there, she always fed me and made sure I was good and made sure that she was good and gave me endless hugs.
Yeah.
And it was good memories.
Yeah. Oh, we only have one?
All right.
Right under.
Oh.
Oh, sweet.
Wait, is this one louder? Because maybe we should switch it.
Hello?
So,
Technical difficulties.
It's not on.
Hello? Okay.
Really low.
You're softer.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello? I need the quieter one. Okay. Sorry. We should have done a sound check. Here we go. Alright.
Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes are the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me.
I sing because I'm happy.
Because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me.
His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I know He watches.
He watches me.
I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free.
She was a goal. She had a lot of energy in her. I wasn't hard at all to get attached to her and to like her and to love her. She's always been my sister. She'll always be my sister, sister-in-law. As a matter of fact, this whole family. Uncles, dads. We are so close. You couldn't get dental floss in between us. We're that tight. And Chrissy was just an amazing person. It was a pleasure and an honor knowing Chrissy. And even up to this date, when I hear the Boy George song, come on. I think she even won first place at this Halloween contest and did makeup and everything. And she looked just like Boy George. I kid you not. She did an exacto. It was just like way off the charts, wasn't it? It was like, wow, look at this. And even up to this day, I could even honestly say that maybe a few days ago, last week, I heard Boy George, and the first thing that comes to my mind is Chrissy on that day. It just was off the charts. And I thank God for that, because of the fact that even now in my heart, that he played that Boy George song, that I can remember her. And in the past, I've always remembered her. And if any, for whatever reason, obstacles got in my way of life, when that song ever comes on, I will always remember our Chrissy. God bless everybody. She was a handful of fun. I love this family. We'll be family forever. So I will see you here, there, or in the air when the transformation takes place, because there is an eternal life. There really is. I've been around the block twice, met everybody at least one time, and I've seen it all. And this Jesus stuff really works. And it's a pleasure and honor knowing that God can have me up here and you receiving the truth. Because we really do need a Savior. And we can't escape it. It's not like, oh, I'll just die and it's all over with. No. We're made in His image and we're going to live for eternity. But where? And there is a hell. And it's a gashing of teeth and screaming, and probably the only thing that go through your mind is, wow, I should have heard that big mouth chom when the Lord sent him up there, and took advantage and received the Spirit of the living God through the death, the resurrection, and the believing in Jesus Christ. Because we are going to have an eternal life, but where? God bless everybody. I love you. And hey, who's next? Come on, let's share our hearts.
Hi, Robbins, Lopez, and everybody else, true family here.
Into the mic.
I had to come after Chong because he stole some of my stuff. Anyway,
Put the mic closer to your mouth.
I wasn't 14 when I met Chris. I don't even know how old I was, but that's not what it matters. But when I met her, what I loved about her was she was a party girl just like me. And, you know, she could drink a little more than me though. But, well, maybe not. Right around our house, around the corner, there was a local restaurant called Acapulco's during the daytime. And then at night, it would become a nightclub. And they would card you and stuff, but here at this place, they didn't card you. So I wasn't 21, but I was able to get in there. And one night, there was a lip syncing. And so I was doing, who was I doing? I don't know, Joan Jett or somebody around there. And she was lip syncing to A Star Is Born or something like that. And she was all in white with the baby's breath, you know, that was in back then. For me, it was the 80s. My 80s were different than my brother's 80s. But she knew how to have a good time. And I love that because, you know, I felt like I grew up all tight and couldn't do too much. And like he says, you know, when you go around the world once and then twice, you get to live over things. And we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of family reunions, like I was talking to Randy or Andy, one of them two cute boys, men. And, you know, every time, you know, like we get together when there's funerals, when somebody dies. So it would be nice if somebody, since Chris is already at the party, that we have a reunion when nobody's died, you know. I'm getting older, so one of you younger people, I'm dropping the seed in your ear so you guys could plan this party. And if we all made it here today, we could do it, right? At least that's my hope. you know, while I'm still alive and while I could still, you know, dance if we have music, and make my nephew dance that doesn't like to dance. I'm here to let you guys know that you have your mom right here. And she loved you guys so much, more than anything. And she was an awesome grandma, the way she hung out with Caius. My family has a curse of pancreatitis, otherwise my whole family would be here. But my grandson that's 13 has pancreatitis, and he's going to have a pancreas transplant here in the summertime, so please keep him in your prayers. And his dad is going through it too right now. I almost thought I couldn't make it, but God woke me up at 4 o'clock and said, no, you got to go. You know, your son could try to give himself what he has to give himself by himself. But he doesn't like needles, so it's hard. But luckily I got him. I was able to give him his insulin. He don't want you guys to know that, so you don't know that. But life is short. So love your families while you're able to. You know, what she gave me was my brother back, because my brother got really sick. And because of you, I have the faith when my grandson said, I want to die, Grandma. You know, I love God, but this is too much for me. And I don't have the answer of if medicine is going to work or not. But I believe in God. And I know that no matter what happens, if he flatlines on that table, I'm not going to be mad at God. It's going to be his will. And that's bigger than my mind, bigger than my brain. But my heart loves him now while he's with me. So, Chris, I thank you for my brother and for the family you gave me. For my papa, my Bookie, my little Rhonda.
That's Blake, Edwin, and Felicia.
And Stephen is just Stephen. And Caius is just Caius. But I love you with my whole heart. So if you ever need me, I'm just a phone call away. Okay.
Is this working? Hello?
Yeah, it's on.
So, for those who don't know me, I'm Mini Chrissy. Chrissy, I just remember, we've been at your house, and Chrissy used to always come and get me because Uncle Eddie was working corrections, so they picked me up. I would be pretty much every summer with them. Believe you me, we gave him hell. Remember that? Yes. All of it?
Yes.
When we lived on what Felicia called INKOPAH. When you were learning your street. Inkaba. She was so proud of that too. We're playing Monopoly.
Oh man.
And Uncle Eddie cheats. So I got so pissed off, mad.
I win. I don't cheat. I just win.
And I threw my cup of milk at him. And Chrissy and I looked at each other and we started laughing. He's kind of mad, but then we start laughing and he gets over it. We would give him hell, both of us. Everyone probably has like a bar like moment with her, but I had a lot of bar moments. I was her DD because I wasn't old enough. Isn't that, like, she gets everyone that's not old enough into bars. And not just when she was a bartender. But we used to run the pool tables. We used to run the dance floor. We actually, even though we're both feisty, we never got into fights at the bar, unless Felicia was there. But I was talking to Lupe, and I said, you know, if it wasn't for Aunt Chrissy and Uncle Eddie's generosity and bringing me... Why do you look puzzled? Coming every summer to pick me up from Victorville, and finally at Chrissy, like, I'm old enough, right? I can go into bars now. 13, 14. So she's like, you're staying with me. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I'll always appreciate her because my son's here. I met my husband, and I have my stepson Nico, and everyone's here. I think you moved everybody here, right? To San Diego?
Everybody followed.
My Nina was here for a minute, but then she's like, hell, I have to go back to LA. But, Long Beach.
The LBC. The LBC.
But again, Aunt Chrissy, I was always her, they thought I was the daughter, and they thought Felicia was my daughter. It was like the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think, well, I love, I appreciate everything that you guys done for me. I love, and Chrissy's like my mom, or my mom gets mad because I say she is my mom. But I appreciate it, and I appreciated adopted sister and brothers and Caius.
Mm-hmm.
Love you. And Jenny wants to talk now.
No, I don't.
Jenny, come on, Jenny.
Come on.
For those who don't know me, I'm Angela's stepson. My brother, Aiden.
You're still her son.
Yeah.
You're just her son.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Aunt Chrissy, I probably wouldn't have met Angela. And it's just a blessing to be here, you know, with my family, with everyone who knows me. Me and Christy have talked, you know, a few times here and there, at parties, for Caius. And she's just really sweet. And I love you guys with all my heart. You guys will always be my family.
I love you too.
Man, good times. I hope we still do.
Of course, of course.
And yeah, so I'm glad that Aunt Chrissy has brought us here today. And God brought us here today. And yeah, love you guys with all my heart.
All right.
Love you too. Love you too.
The two sister powers.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Hello. My name's Cynthia. This is Amanda. We're sisters.
Hey.
Listen up. Listen up.
My Aunt Chrissy's niece. This is Angeline. This is my niece, Amanda's daughter. So yeah, so I just wanted to come up and speak because I have a lot of great memories with Aunt Chrissy. Nobody knows she gave me my childhood nickname, so it was her Titi. So something I was thinking about. So yesterday I was in my first C-section, and I was in the background, so they wouldn't actually let me do much because it was my first one. And I remember seeing the baby, and I just started kind of crying. And I was wondering, why am I crying? And I think it's because I knew I was going to come here today, and I think I just in my mind it was hard for me to see this new life and then realize where I was going tomorrow, and it was to say goodbye. But at the same time I had a lot of peace in knowing that she really did live her life to the fullest. So as much as it's how does it go from the cradle to when it's your time to leave, having that experience really showed me that I had a lot of beautiful memories with Aunt Chrissy that I will always hold dear to me. And I think the reason why I'm able to love the way that I do today, a lot of it has to do because of her. And she showed me love, and I'm able to do that.
I just got handed the mic. Well, growing up, we had problems with our mom and dad and where we could go a lot of the times, and I just remember being at Aunt Chrissy's was really like a safe haven. Even when I didn't know where my mom or my dad was, I knew where Felicia, my big brothers that I never had were, and yeah, I'm sad. I'm happy sad. And I just remember always being there, and I mean, I think subconsciously I kind of leaned towards Felicia and Steven because I now kind of look like you. And we've always had a relationship, Steven and me, and I remember Aunt Chrissy having to break our fights a lot. And you punched my nose, I punched you back. We were bleeding, and she was just trying to separate us, playing video games. And Aunt Jenny's house being within the same block, I think. I was a kid, everything kind of mushed together, and she lived with
We were down the street from each other.
Yeah, we would like
10 houses away.
Yeah, we would go back and forth, and I'm really proud that I had the life that I had, even throughout the times that were hard, because we all knew what it meant to struggle together, and we all knew what it meant to love together. And I'm just really happy that we have this time to be together. Again, maybe we can have younger people coordinate like a family reunion, so it's not always yeah. But I'm really happy to have my daughter here too, to meet you guys. Her name's Angelini. And I would like to and growing up too, I never had photos of me. Not calling you out, Mom, but never having. Whoa, sorry, Lord, sorry, everybody. I never had photos of myself, so I remember coming over to Aunt Chrissy's house and just seeing like photos of everyone, and that was like a big part of still feeling connected to the family, even though we weren't always there. So I'd like to at least have some baby pictures of me if any of you guys have some. I know Steven sent me a picture the other day. You have all the pictures? Oh, okay. So that would be lovely to have time to come together and us just go through that. And you're successful. That's awesome. You have kids, same age. Nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to put the mic down. I'm rambling.
My name is Maria Sol Repellin. I am, even though he didn't recognize me, but it has, to his defense, he's old.
Very old.
No. We have not seen each other in many, many years. We keep in contact through Facebook and social media and stuff, but it's not the same, right? Like, kind of knowing.
The last time you saw us, you danced with my sons.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that we're talking about, right? Like, we get together in, like, weddings and funerals, and that's kind of when we see each other. I haven't seen my cousins in years. But I am Ed's second cousin through his dad's side. His dad is my grandmother's brother, was my grandmother's brother. My mother's name is Sonia, and they're first cousins, and now we're second cousins, and Arlene, and you know, the whole bunch. So I actually come as a representative through the Toscano side, and the Lopez and Toscano side. So
lawyers, a bunch of lawyers.
Lawyers, and we have doctors, yes. But our condolences to all of you for the loss of Chrissy. She was a wonderful woman. I didn't know her much except, again, through, you know, some family gatherings and weddings and funerals and such. But you can tell that she was an amazing woman by the way that she raised all of you guys, our cousins, right? And Felicia, you have an amazing voice. And even though you and I don't follow each other too much, your dad sends pictures and posts pictures of all of you guys. I get it. But honestly, it's really the only, he's so proud. He's so unbelievably proud of you guys. You guys have no idea. I'm sure you guys do, because like, he's like, you know, don't say anything, but Felicia did this, and Blake did this, and Edwin did all of these things, right? But I'm sure that Chrissy and your dad have been so proud of all of your accomplishments and your successes. And through social media, I know your wife and your kids, right? And even though you guys might not necessarily allow him or appreciate that he does all of these things, like, we love it because we kind of get to keep in contact with all of you guys. So, again, to all of you on the loss of Chrissy, who was an amazing woman, my condolences, and the condolences from the Toscano Lopez family. And we wish you all, in this hard time, we wish you all peace and comfort.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that.
I'm Jenny and Jesse's daughter. And growing up, Felicia and I were inseparable. And one of our favorite things to do was sing and dance. We'd be up all night. Even when my mom, her name's Linda, not Jenny, but my mom, she wasn't supportive of my passions, and Aunt Chrissy was always so encouraging and supportive, and I appreciated that so much about her, and she was so much fun to be around, and just...
You got this, you got this. You got this, Lacey.
I love you, Aunt Chrissy. I love you all, and that's all I got right now. So
thank you.
I'm Michael. I am Chrissy's son-in-law. I remember Chrissy being really strong woman in a sense where even my problems wouldn't let her blind her to see me for who I am, and she would always have my back no matter what. I know I messed up a lot, and she would always see through the real person, and I really miss her. When me and Felicia were going through tough times, she would always be there to tell me, to guide me and guide us with songs. It could be a song, or it could be words of wisdom that she shared from her past experiences. And she was a really great mother and grandmother and aunt to all of her family. As far as I know, she was my mother as well. And I always called her Mama Chris, as what I named her, as what I gave her as her name ever since. I moved in with the family, and we had Chavez. I remember the really good times. She was a really good cook. She would always cook so much good food. I would always be excited about her lasagna, man. I'm like, oh man, can you teach Felicia how to make that? And I don't think Felicia got it down, but if you guys ever had Chrissy's lasagna, man, oh my gosh, I can't. It's always stuck with me, and I always want that recipe back. I miss her. She would always be cooking food. Arroz con pollo, man, it's my favorite. She had the casserole.
Stop.
I know, she'd always be cooking up a storm. So, yeah. I just want to say that I'm really glad that everyone is here to send her off, and we can all close this chapter and make sure that she knows that we were all here for her. One of my favorite memories with her was when we went to your cousin David's wedding. Daniel's wedding. We went to your cousin Daniel's wedding, and this is when she was like just on top of the world. She was full of life. This is how I remember her being so happy, dancing, and just full of life. So full of life that when we came back to the room where we were staying at, she kind of still wanted to keep going, you know. She's like, hey man, you know, what's going on, Mike? You know what to do, you know, like what can we do? And I was like, I don't know, let's go to Vanessa's room or something, right? And we were having so much fun that Chrissy was like, yeah, let's go, man, I want to have fun. And Felicia, by this time, she was tired, you know, she was tired from the wedding, or she was watching Chavez. So yeah, she was a baby. It was a baby, mind you. But you know, me and Chrissy were kind of like, oh man, we still want to keep going. So I just remember her, you know, like just being so full of life and happy, and it almost felt like she was just kind of like my homie, you know, like just part of me, like, hey, let's go, like my best bud, and that felt really cool because that's how me and Chrissy always had a relationship like that. And we went to Vanessa's room.
Wait, didn't you end up at the pool?
I'm not sure, but what I do remember is that we were having so much fun that Felicia was having FOMO, and she could not stand it. She was like blowing me up.
I was with her because I was pregnant.
Yeah. Felicia got a really bad case of FOMO, blowing me up. Like, get back over here! You're not supposed to be having fun with my mom. Get over here! Yeah, so she was having a really bad case of FOMO,
I don't know what that is.
We were just having she was missing out.
Okay.
She was fearing that she was missing out, but we were just having a really good time, and that's one of my favorite memories of her being full of life, and you know, even at Edwin's wedding, we had such a good time. I was dancing with her. That's how I'm gonna remember her. I know the last weeks of her life weren't as happy as we remember. But I'm glad that she's not suffering anymore, and she's in a better place. But I just want to thank you guys all for being here. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep those favorite memories of mine when she was full of life and happy are my favorite, and that's how I'm gonna remember her. And I love her, and I love all you guys, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mike. Good job, Mike.
Hey! My name is Carlos. I've known the Lopez's from Mike
Since day one.
I remember, well, the first time I met Felicia and Mama Chrissy, I remember it is that Mama Chrissy was so bold. And I never thought that I'd be this close to the Lopez family. I met every single one of you at one point, right? I see the families growing. There's a lot of resemblance of her in each one of you. But Ed and Chrissy have really helped me. My 2 kids are over there in the back. I have a really small family, so they have always helped me with taking care of the kids. And so I would like to say that Chrissy has always given me a chance to express myself in a sense where she would never judge me. Depending on what situation I was in, she would always give me like an honest opinion of or guidance, you know. And so I know with Felicia, I never thought it would be this close, honestly, man. So it was a pleasure, like, honestly, it's a pleasure being part of your guys' family. Straight up, like, very lucky to know each one of you guys. Had a chance to celebrate some parties with you guys, too.
A lot, yeah. Kids grew up.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I just want to do my due diligence and show my respect.
Thank you.
To Chrissy.
Thank you, Carlos.
I said, in all fairness, I knew him first.
Oh,
oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. This is pretty hard for me. Nope,
You're good. You're good.
So.
Yeah, it's another.
Okay. Oh. Yes, I am. Nope, it is fine. I am. Yeah. For those of you who don't know me, I am my aunt. Obviously, she is my Aunt Chrissy. But she is... My mom used to get really mad at her because she would always say she was my mom.
She kept buying you more pacifiers.
Yes, growing up. Every time my mom tried to break me from the passies, she kept buying me more. I didn't break them until I was like 5 years old, thanks to her.
She had them stashed all over the house.
Oh, she still had them 6 years old. So we were in Arizona and I could break hers.
I have so many memories of her that I don't even think I can even say a lot of them. So many, from living in California, for me and Steven playing God knows how many stupid games growing up. I think my favorite one was getting high off the stupid.
What? Really now?
You don't remember that?
What is it? The cream?
The inhaler.
Whoa.
We were like 5 or 6 years old.
The inhaler as an inhaler.
The inhaler.
We're all
that
thinking.
Was so
we're all thinking. What the
like, what?
We kept doing the inhaler. You and Chrissy busted us so quick. That was probably my favorite one when we were like 5 or 6. So yeah.
Where was I?
You weren't there.
You were working all the time.
Yeah, you were working all the time.
Sorry, I failed you.
It's okay.
Steven, we're talking after this.
Too late now.
No, it's now. It took you long enough.
But this one, it hit pretty hard, huh? I'm gonna miss her a lot, but I know she's always looking over me. I also remember when I came down here by myself to do a weekend trip, and I stayed with her, and me and her just talked, and she taught me her arroz con pollo recipe. So
she has the recipe.
Oh, what? I got that one. And she also, we ordered out chicken wings, and that was a weekend that I got to meet Edwin and your boy and the hot tub. I have videos of that, and that was a really good weekend.
And it wasn't even a hot tub, it was just a tub with bubbles. I couldn't get it to work. It was a cold tub.
The cold tub with bubbles. But the memories I will never forget. Growing up with all of you guys, and I'm gonna miss it. But
by the way, where did you just come from? Where'd you fly in from?
well, I live in Nashville. However, I was in San Antonio for a work event, so I flew in straight from San Antonio.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll be heading back to Nashville on Tuesday, but I want to be with all of you guys. I haven't been back here since the last time I seen Aunt Chrissy was for my 21st birthday, and she bought me she was the only one to ever buy me my favorite cake. Was a red velvet cake and a tequila rose, which is my favorite alcohol. She was the only one.
Not even her mama did it.
Yeah, my mom has never bought me my favorite cake. Because
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
She bought me my favorite cake, my favorite alcohol, and put 21 because she wanted to be. And it was a few days shy of my 21st birthday because I wasn't actually going to be there since it landed on Father's Day. But she wanted to be the very first one to buy me everything for my 21st birthday. And yeah, she called me Cassie.
Yes.
Cassandra.
Yeah, she called me Cassie.
Cassandra.
Did you know that I was almost going to be named Cassandra?
I tried to name her Cassandra.
Irene Cassandra.
And then she heard me say that, and she took it and gave it to you.
No, she was born first.
I'm really old, man. I'm old as dirt right now.
But I love all you guys.
Just a real quick word I want to say about Chrissy is first time I met Chrissy with the Diamond Gems with my wife.
She couldn't stand him either.
Yeah, she really wasn't too fond of me because she always told Jenny that I took away her drinking buddy, that I wasn't allowed to go over to her house because I took away her party buddy, going to the bar, shooting pool. Yeah, my wife doesn't drink. Well, tequila. You know what tequila does.
When I drink tequila.
And it's got to be Jose Cuervo Gold. But anyways, one of my most memories that I'll never ever forget about Chrissy was the day that Chrissy and Compa Ed asked us, me and Jenny, to be the godparents of Felicia, Edwin, and Blake. But yeah, thank you, Chrissy. And comadre Chrissy. And off the subject, excuse me, I'm sorry and I apologize, but off the subject, Compa Ed's alive today with us because after his surgery they slipped him a couple of pork sandwiches. And he doesn't know that, but they did. Yeah. Oh my God. I slipped him a McRib. Sorry, Compa, I love you.
All right, love you. Wow. Well, if there's anybody else, we're gonna move on to the next phase. But before we do that,
got a couple more here.
no, we don't. My other nephew finally got here from Long Beach, not Los Angeles, from Long Beach. He works down there, and if he has to leave, it's because somebody got shot, and he has to go do a report, because that's what detectives do in Long Beach. This is my nephew, Daniel, and he brought his wife. Hey, nice to meet you for the first time.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You guys are amazing. Every single one of you that showed up here to say goodbye to that beautiful lady right there. And we're going to close this with a eulogy, followed by the farewell with her other son, Blake. So Edwin will do the eulogy, and Blake will close this, and then we got a lot of food. And I still have more food coming, but nobody leave, because we're going to keep celebrating Chrissy and her life.
Yes.
Now, before we go, Daniel, did you want to say anything?
Sure.
Come on up. Two handsome guys right there, man. Another one. Hey.
Another one.
We got some good cousins in this family, let me tell you.
Hi everyone, I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
Hey.
So I know we've been talking, Blake, Edwin and I, Felicia, I see your messages. Oh man. My Chrissy was a big personality. I think for me personally, and I know a lot of my cousins, like my fondest memories as a child were going to spend time with my two cousins. And my other cousin Felicia, even though we used to fight a lot when we were kids. I just have so much like fond memories of Uncle Eddie taking us to play basketball, soccer, football, Blake throwing ninja stars.
He still does that.
Computers, video games. But Aunt Chrissy, man, she loved me so much. I remember her giving Blake and Edwin bowl cuts with a bowl on their heads. I remember one time she pulled her tooth out, the string on the door, slammed the door shut. But I think something that's like common in our family is all of the women have like strong personalities.
Everyone.
And they're very assertive women. And I think that's shown through the kids because we're all pretty dominant, hard-headed, aggressive people. To a fault maybe. But Aunt Chrissy took care of everyone. She loved everyone. She treated all. I think it says something about her. We all felt like we had a special connection with her. I think all of her nieces and nephews, and especially her kids, all felt they had a bond with her. Maybe that no one else had, because that was the attention and love she showed everyone. It's a big loss, a bigger loss for obviously her kids than anyone else. I'm sorry you guys are going through this. I know what she meant to you guys. I know what she meant to you, Uncle Eddie. I know what she meant to me. And I'm really grateful that I got to see her a few weeks back, but I'm really, like, Blake and I talked about this a few weeks ago, like, before I joined the Navy, I got to spend some time with you, and you were kind of a little in this already, so you're already gone, but I got to spend, like, a good 2 weeks with Blake and Andrew a little bit, and I look back so fondly on that, just talking to Aunt Chrissy and spending time with you guys, and best time of my life. I tell my wife, I can't remember like a summer or a year where I didn't go to your guys' house and have a good time with you guys. And
your $200 shoes?
Oh yeah, I used to be big on shoes. So Aunt Chrissy, I didn't think she would remember that when I went and saw her a few weeks ago. She was like, remember, you used to bring all your Jordans and set them up in my whole house. Yeah, it's tough loss. She would definitely be missed. And she's an amazing woman with an amazing family, and I'm glad we're all here to celebrate her. So I'll just end it with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I think we can all agree that she's up there in heaven right now. She's probably looking down on all of us, pretty annoyed that we're making a big deal over her. But I can still picture her telling my dad, Ed, you're stupid.
I didn't say that.
Why'd you do this?
I agree.
Just shaking her head, embarrassed, pretending like it's a nightmare, but We always knew how much she loved everybody and how happy this would make her to see everybody together today. The embarrassment thing, like, right now is my payback. It's been a long time. Try to think of the different memories and something I wanted to share about her. And the first one that popped into my head was 7th grade on my picture day. I was, anyone that's been to my parents' house, you know pictures mean a big deal, like you see them everywhere. Yeah. I forgot my picture money in the envelope she set up, left it on the counter at home. Got to school, didn't realize it, she dropped me off, and I'm in class, so you'd have to go out to PE, out on the blacktop. Everyone stands on their numbers, like the little yellow circle on the ground says your number, teacher does your attendance. But everybody out there, instead of the PE clothes, you know, you're in your nice shirt, your hair's combed, you're waiting. And I know we're still there, we're waiting for our teacher to come out. And just cross the blacktop, like from the hill. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Hilltop, but where the lockers are, where the coaches come from, so we're all looking that way. I see my mom coming. She's wearing sweatpants and a Harley Davidson t-shirt. Sleeves are kind of torn off. And I'm 13, so I'm already embarrassed. Like, I'm sitting there. I know my mom's coming. She's going to do something. And she's walking. I can see her kind of looking around, just kind of checking things out. And she noticed there's no teacher there. So she walks up in front of the class. There's one last little look around, like, "Hey everybody, I'm your teacher."
Oh no.
She did. I'm going to be instructing you guys today, so everyone's just kind of looking at each other, confused, not knowing what's happening. Everyone's like, "We're not doing the workouts or anything right now." And she's like, "All right, we're going to start with some jumping jacks." And she's like waiting there, and she's like, "All right, come on, let's do some jumping jacks." And the whole class just starts doing some jumping jacks. And after a couple, she's like, "Oh, I'm fucking with you guys. Where's my baby boy?" And then she walks over to me. "Yo, there's my big papa." I remember, I could feel how red my face was. The absolute embarrassment this woman put me through in that moment.
I never knew this.
Yeah, I didn't forget it.
Something I'll never forget.
Yeah. But that was my mom. There was no boundaries. She had no shyness. She loved. And anybody that was going to try and stop her or change her, like, good luck.
Yeah.
She was not going to let that happen. That was probably the biggest takeaway from growing up in this family with them for parents is no matter what, we've got our family. We've got our cousins, we've got our aunts, uncles, we've got our brothers and sisters. That's what matters. That's what we're going to carry through this life. I know in this family, over the years, there's been fighting and we drift apart and we finally catch back up and come back together, and then we'll probably fight again. But eventually we'll all come back together again. Because no matter what, we're better or worse, we're all in this together. I know right now, if she's watching this, she's probably uncomfortable, probably a little annoyed with me. And that's the payback I wanted. I want to embarrass her. I want to share what she gave to us for the rest of my life with my family. I remember all the times Blake and Felicia and I would get annoyed when she's sitting out on that back patio talking to her sisters or her brothers or talking to whoever all day, and we're just bugging her, trying to get her to come back inside. She's sitting there with the cigarette and the cell phone, or the house phone at that time. And we didn't understand it at the time. We were just kids. We were just annoyed that our mom's not giving us all the attention we want. But she understood what we've grown up to know now is there's no such thing as too much time for your family. There's not ever going to be a point where we regret giving that time to our siblings and our cousins and our brothers and sisters. She taught us a lot of things growing up. She taught us what real strength looked like, being there for your family and loving them. Not just when it's easy and everyone's doing well and it's real easy to be there and have the good times together, but when things are going bad and things are hard and we're all pulling together with that last bit, that's when it really matters. She taught us also, to be tough, to be firm firm in our life, stand up for ourselves. She taught us not to be bullies. We weren't going to pick fights, but if somebody wanted one, we're going to finish it. And if you had a little brother like Blake, like sometimes you just fight whoever you started shit with that day.
You were going to back him up?
Yeah. Well, that was it. She taught us love, and she taught us family. And that was my mama, Chrissy.
You know, anyone bullied me, Edwin had my back. I knew my mom had my back too. Like, you know, sometimes a teacher, I never went to school. I was always late. I'd have a teacher say stuff to me, you know, like make a comment, tell my mom, I was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Because I know she's going to come at you. And it was very comforting to know I had that. And she was very big on family. I mean, hearing every one of you, all of your stories, you know, I didn't know all this about my mom. And she's kind of a complex woman. I would try to make her happy, you know, like, what do you want, Mom, for your birthday? Nothing. Can I get you something? No. And just from talking with you guys, I realized she just loved being with you. That was her happiness. She just really lived in the moment. And that's something I try to do more. But yeah, my mom, she was definitely, like you said, embarrassing sometimes, and she didn't care. You couldn't embarrass her. I remember, you know, my friends trying to pick me up one day to go, I don't know, we were going to go play sports or something, and my mom, like Edwin said, always on the phone, always has that cigarette in her hand, a cup of coffee, with the landline, the cord coming from the house outside. And I remember my friend picked me up, and he's like, is that your mom? The one in the Jägermeister shirt with the sleeve? I'm like, yeah. Like, she just did her own thing.
That's right.
But yeah, it's tough now that she's gone. But I definitely learned a lot from her. Even though we kind of butt heads because we're so similar, we both kind of guard ourselves and don't really let people in. But you knew the love was there regardless. I knew she would always be there for me, and that you guys would always be there for me too, because she kind of made that environment. You know, growing up, everybody lived with us. You know, it was just part of the rotations to be expected, like who's next. And you know, we didn't always have a lot of money, but we always had room. And you know, even living with Jenny and Jesse, you know, 2-bedroom little thing. There'll be like 20 of us in the house living on the floor, but we did it. It was never like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have space.
We'll figure out it.
Or food, you know, like we didn't have much food, and you get a pizza, it's like how many of you are there? Like cut that slice in half and share it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just the way we lived. And that's definitely something I try to bring with me, and you know, I think that's what got me to where I am today, is just that strength. Because, you know, people are like, oh, you're so smart, Blake, like, you became a doctor, but I'm really not. It's just that perseverance. It took me a long time to get through medical school, residency, undergrad. As you know, we didn't really go to school when we were young, and I don't even have a high school diploma, but I have a medical degree, and it's just because I know from her, you don't back down. And I knew, just like my dad's kind of the same way. You don't give up, just like how that time he always talks about in Vegas. When we got that damn RV to this day.
My mom's RV.
It was an RV from like, I don't know, the 60s. And, I don't even know how we got to Vegas, but it got us there. It just didn't get us back. And we broke down probably 10 times. And you guys, I don't even know how you guys made it happen, but that was just the determination. Like, and as a kid seeing that, I just knew, like, no matter how bad it gets, like, we can get through it. And, you know, multiple times my dad was at the repair shop. We were all pushing the RV down to Las Vegas Boulevard. Everyone's gambling. We're just... you know, we're pushing this thing in 100+ degree weather just to get to the next block for something else to break down as soon as we get that fixed. Then we finally got on the freeway, and now the radiator's blown. I don't know, my dad had to cross the freeway to go to some random person's house in the middle of the desert to get a 5-gallon jug of water. And we would just pour the water in the radiator and go a bit. The water would leak out, and he'd find another place to fill up water. But we got home. And that's kind of what I took with me. And I just know, you know, like everyone said, she'd definitely be embarrassed of us talking about her. She really didn't like any accolades or attention on herself. But once again, like, you guys made her life. That's the truth. I wish I could have been there more, but I had to go away for so long for training. But I'm glad to know that you guys were all there with her. And like Felicia said too, she does what she wants. Like the nurse, you know, said she had passed, and she just
Nope.
kept going. She lived by her own code, and I hope you guys kind of do the same. And I hope you know, everyone's been chiming in and saying that we should all get together more, and I do think so, because I mean, you know, I was away for 4 years in Michigan for med school. I was just in the snow, no family. I was in New York for 4 years. You know, it was all COVID in the ER in Manhattan, and I was even isolated from my family for a whole year because of the infections. So I definitely have been on my own for a long time, and I just want to get those relationships built again. So I think that's all I have. We have food, eat, and we'll all talk soon.
Thank you, Blake.
So to clarify, that jug of water that I had to run across that 15 freeway, which is people driving 100 miles an hour, and I run across the freeway and I hop the fence, and my nephew Steven was with me, and he goes, "What are you doing, Uncle Eddie? Just follow me." So I jump over, and there's just a mobile home just sitting in the middle of nowhere, and I see a bunch of junk all over the place, and I saw a 5-gallon bottle sitting there empty on the floor. And I ran over there and I go, "I'm gonna knock on the door. If the guy comes out with a gun, just run." So I'm telling my nephew this. So I go knock on the door. "Yeah, may I help you?" And I go, "We ran out of water. We're over there across the freeway. Can I get the water?" He goes, "Yeah, fill that thing up and take it with you." I filled it up. It was easy filling it up. It wasn't easy getting back across to the 60-year-old motorhome. But I did it, and we filled it, went up a little bit of another hill, it lost all the water, found another place, did the same thing again. And like he said, his perseverance, what he did during COVID, sorry, I'm going to share this. He lost 3 doctors, co-workers of his. His mother and I worried every day, like he was somewhere in the Middle East fighting. You know, he's out there fighting an unseen killer. 28 nurses died from that. They had trailers in the back filled with dead bodies. Filled. He went through the middle of that in the pandemic, in the epicenter of the whole damn thing. Chrissy and me, just pray, Ed. Just, he's strong. He can do it. We talked about it all the time, her and me. And wow, is all I can say. So that's his mother. That's the strength of one hell of a woman. That's an alpha female right there. An alpha female is as low as I can give her. And the reason I'm still single is I can't find anybody to come close to her. I can't find anybody that will fill one shoe. And I'll be alone the rest of my life because I love that woman. I love that woman a lot. Okay. I think we're done. She's here with us.
Uncle Eddie, thank you so much for taking care of her. You did a lot.
No, that was... I had to be there for her.
Even though we know that she cussed and yelled at him the whole way through.
That was my life. That was all right. So we have half the food here right now. I've got Lolita's coming. If you guys know Lolita's, we've got a bunch of food. They're bringing it. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.